Welcome in, everyone. I hope you've been having a great week. I have been getting messages for the last 3 days now relating to authenticity and how that authenticity, when we embody that authenticity, how that brings freedom. And a couple of weeks ago, my video was on really going into that space of what are your gifts? What do you love to do? And stepping into that practice, bringing that into your life as, I want to say daily, because daily is what you deserve. Daily is what we should do, bring that joy into our daily life as a practice. So bringing those gifts, bringing those joys into an everyday practice. Okay, that was a couple of weeks ago, and today I pulled this card. And as always, I know you can't see the message on there because it's reversed, but this says, communicate sacredness. Build it, share it, and spread it. And this is really ties back into that authenticity, that joy, those gifts. Okay, because that is how we step into our power, our true power. When you are creating, whatever that may be for you, it doesn't have to be art. When you are in that creative space of joy, whatever that is for you, that is when you are most authentically aligned with Source. Therefore, that is when you are most authentically aligned with your power. And this is so important. Primarily that aspect of authenticity. That's the main message that I've been getting the last few days. And this applies to me. These subtle energies, they also apply to you and the collective as a whole, because we are all connected. And so the main aspect of what I want to share with you today is that real, raw truth and authenticity of yourself and your authentic voice within you, and what aligns you with that. So for me to give you examples of how this is applying in life, for me as an artist, this is claiming my authentic voice of what truly brings me joy to create. What is authentic to me, because that authenticity, that is what is sacred. That is what we share. That is what we build. That is what we share. That is what we spread out into the world. So that authentic joy, that authentic whatever it is that lights you up, that is what you're focused on, what you should focus on to align you with your authentic creative power. That is so important, and sometimes that is so difficult to sometimes even find. And that is one of the things that I've been personally struggling with is in my art, I have so many different things that I love to create. So one of my struggles has been what is it that I'm supposed to be creating and what brings me the most joy? So an example is I love to paint. And the painting, while I receive and bring forth beautiful things, the painting gives me joy, but not in the same sense that other things do. So I do find sometimes that painting is a little bit pressurized for me. And when I say pressurized, I mean it sort of gets me a little bit tense sometimes when I'm creating because I don't want to make a mistake and I need this thing to be what I'm envisioning in my head. And that is a pressure to perform in a sense. And so while I love that form of creating, I don't love it all the time because it is pressurized for me. So one of the things that I do love in my creating artistically is playing with papers and recycling things that other people think are garbage, right? So recycling packaging paper and boxes and, just all sorts of throwaway things. And I love to create artistic journals. Mostly out of these things that people normally throw away. And for me, that is creating with no pressure. So that is where I truly kind of get into my little kid self. And that's where your highest form of creation comes through. Because in a sense, you're creating with that inner child. You're aligning with that inner child where there's no wrong, there's no pressure to perform, there's no comparison, there's just what you love to do. And that is the refining process. And you may not be in that place yet. You may just be discovering things that you like to do. Because many of us were not really allowed to create freely when we were younger. And so then we're stepping into that now as older adults. And maybe for the first time we're discovering what it is that we love to do that lights us up, even if it seems like it's an insignificant and tiny thing. Right? That's so important to follow those little sparks of joy that bring your heart so much happiness. That is how you align with your creative power and therefore with your authenticity. Because those two things are really one and the same. Your authenticity is your creative source power. And so that's what wanted to come through today. That's really it. It, again, seems pretty simple, but sometimes really, really diving into that and exploring into that can sometimes be very difficult and not an easy process. But that's the main thing that I want to bring through today is it doesn't have to be difficult. If you can follow the little sparks of joy that align with your heart, follow those little tidbits, follow those little scraps. And that is going to lead you faster into your authenticity than anything else. So thank you so much for being here today to receive this message. I am honored to bring this through for you. I am thankful for you being here today. Like the video, comment below, subscribe, share. That all helps. And thank you more than anything just for being here and for listening. I appreciate you. And until next time.